We're the second week of 2026. Are you getting what you want out of this year's journey? Let's talk about this week's Weight Watchers topic and let's compare notes. Stay tuned. Hey, it's time to Dish with D. That's me. Thank you for on this video, making yourself a priority. I'm Denise. It is the second weigh-in of the year. Happy New Year 2026, my lovelies. It is January 12th. We're almost at the middle of the month. That's the more than anything. That is like, what? We're halfway done January in another 3 days. I don't even know what to say about that. I really don't. But how are you doing on your journey? You know, this is when people start to fall off the second weekend. It's kind of like, you know what? I had all these great intentions, but you know what? It's just way too hard. I don't know. I just can't. And I don't want to hear that. I want you to try, because you're never going to get healthier if you don't keep trying. And you know what? If you're feeling stressed, take it down a notch. Maybe you're doing too much. Just take it down a notch. So I hope you're still here. I hope you're still trying to reach your goals, because I know this is when it usually starts to peter down. But we don't want to think negatively. We want to think positively. So this week's Weight Watchers, we're still in the theme of your weight health story, which is interesting. Weight health story. To dive into how our habits and the past experience have helped us, shaped us to who we are today. So this week we're talking about learned habits. Have members reflect on what habits they have learned over time and how the habit loop plays a part in habits they want to keep and habits they want to break. Now, the one girl in the workshop I attended was a really good thing. She said, put your hands up, put them together, and do this. She goes, what finger is on top? Some people said left, some people said right. Mine, it's my right thumb is on top. So she said, switch them. And she was like, what do you feel? It's like, it doesn't feel right. It feels uncomfortable, right? Doesn't it? But there's nothing wrong with this. It's just your habit is to do that. So we want habits that feel comfortable, and habits that, you know, and that was interesting. I'm thinking to myself, she's right. It's a habit. And like, do you get up in the morning before, like, for me, like, I can only speak for me, of course. When I get up in the morning, I just need to brush my teeth. I need to get that night foam out of my mouth. Like, I have a CPAP, so sometimes my mouth's a little bit dry. Sometimes it's a little bit mucky. So I don't even think about it. I have to go to the bathroom, get my teeth brushed before anything else happens. It's automatic. So they want healthy habits to become automatic. Like, versus like going, oh, I gotta brush my teeth, right? Or I came downstairs, I didn't brush my teeth. Why did I forget to do that? You don't. Very rarely do I ever forget to brush my teeth. If I do, it's because I have to go to the bathroom. Somebody's in there and I have to go really, really bad. So I go downstairs to the downstairs bathroom, and say I grab my robe and I don't go right back upstairs. I might not brush my teeth till I go back up to get changed, but I do brush my teeth because I still feel that, you know. So let's talk about habits. Before we get into that, let's get to my weigh-in. All right, D. Oh, we have two things to talk about. My weigh-in and the fact that I started the all-in. I know, but if you watch my video from Friday, you'll understand why I wanted to try it. Number one, how can I talk about something unless I've done it? That was my first thing. Number two, I often said it feels like a diet. True, but honestly, maybe that's what I need. Maybe I give myself too much freedom. Maybe I need some structure. Maybe I need some limits. So maybe doing that might help me. So I started the all-in when my app updated on Friday, because I didn't have it to do it. So I started Friday. I should write that on my calendar so I don't forget, on the 9th. I've not done any of the workouts yet, but I do plan on it because it's not a habit for me to really exercise that much. We know this. But having said that, I was on plan all last week, you know, better than I have been in a long time. So I'm happy to say that I am down another 1.2 pounds. So 3.2 pounds in 2 weeks since the beginning of January. I am super excited about that. That is chipping away at my 26 pounds. So chip, 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 chip. I was a little surprised it was a pound. I really was. But you know what? I'll take it. I'm not going to fight with it and say, I don't think I deserved a pound. But 1.2 actually. So good for me. Good for you. Let me know in the comments how you did this week. Are you doing the all-in plan? It's not really a plan. It's a toggle that gives you only your weekly points. You'll get no rollovers, no your daily points, no weekly points, no rollovers, no activity points. You just get your basic. You get all your 0-point foods, and they want you to track your sleep. I don't know how to track my stress. I don't know if I knew there was a place to track that. I have to look again on the app. Again, I'm not 100%. You track your weight, water. So, and speaking of, let's go back into our habits. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, that's the one that I already said that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit discombobulated. Research tells us learned habits are behaviors you repeat so often that they are eventually become automatic. Over time, your brain uses the pattern and what you do without thinking. These habits come from your routines, your environment, and your experiences, and they often shape how you act, even how you see yourself. So you have to, how do you form a habit? Or what cues you into it? So first, it's a cue, something we see or experience in our environment, a thought or a feeling. And then one like you just that teeth. It's like that cues me that I have to go in there and brush my teeth. Triggers the behavior of brushing my teeth, and then eventually, behavior has an impact. My mouth is refreshed. Oh yeah, it's like there's nothing like your first morning brush. It's just nothing like it. The impact can be positive, such as pleasant feeling or relief. Negative, like discomfort or dissatisfaction, or neutral. And what do you mean by that? Like if say you're doing like some sort of heavy exercise, sometimes you'll feel a little tightness in your muscles. You'll feel a little stiff. You feel a little sore. It's normal, and some people like that feeling because they feel like they know they're doing something, so you feel it. So sometimes the cause has sometimes you look for that effect. Like you want to have that little bit of tightness because you know something's moving and something's going. Ugh. So it's kind of like always a good thing, but don't forget the cue. And the cue, we want to cue ourselves. For me, it's like also a habit I've started, but it's been a while now, is drinking that first glass of water as soon as I come downstairs. Normally I would go grab my tea, and I'm like, no, before you have your tea, you have to drink 10 ounces of water because you haven't had water for like 7 hours. So you want to rehydrate. So before I do anything, I drink my 10 ounces of water, and then I get my tea. But this is water, actually. I always fill my Stanley up to make sure it's full, ice and water, and my little lemon packet every day. I get that all refreshed, and I always have it with me. And that's another habit I've built, is before I'm going out, grab my water. So I always have something with me to drink, stay hydrated, because if you're out for like an hour, that's an hour less of your day you have to drink water. So if you bring it with you, you could drink it while you're out. It's little things like that, and it's simple things. And I try to say it's simple because it is simple to fill a water bottle and take it with you. It's not hard. It just takes, you keep it out. Like it's always sitting there right on my counter. When I come down, it's right there, so I can't miss it. And it's pink, and it has a cute little sticker on it. So get things like that make you happy. Like if you got, it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. If you love something or you like something and you think it's cute and adorable, you're more likely to grab it. And I have my little puppy on top, my little straw cover, my little puppy. It's just those stupid little things that whatever, can help you with that habit. Okay, so the habit loop, it's a loop. It's a cue, it's a behavior, it's a reward. And a reward is sometimes it's just a feeling. It's not always a reward as in, oh, here's a reward. No, it's always a reward. It's usually a feeling. Like, how are we half the time, like we're looking at, the clock. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. I guess I should have lunch. No, look for the cue where you're actually hungry, and then you go have lunch. And then you'll feel better about, I didn't eat because I was told to eat. I ate because I wanted to eat. Like, that's another thing that my dad was very famous for that. He liked to eat on the clock. If it was this time, he wanted to eat lunch. If it was this time, he wanted to eat dinner. We ate dinner at 5 o'clock every night. Now, I try to do that here only because I don't want to be in the kitchen all night. So we eat between 5 and 6 most nights. And I've started another habit, which I used to do but got away from, was not eating after dinner. Now, that's something I'm choosing to do. It helps me with fasting. Like, I always like the idea of the fasting, but I can never do it too far into the day. So I do my fast from the night. So I start 6 o'clock at night, and then I don't eat anything till 9:30ish most mornings. So that's like a 15-hour fast, which I think is fantastic. But I can't go into the later part of the morning, because if I'm up, for me, I need to eat after a certain time or my body just does not like it. Because I don't have a gallbladder. I have what you call, and not everybody gets it, dumping syndrome. So if I don't eat within a certain few hours of getting up, then my body revolts. But for some reason, at night, I guess because I've eaten, that it's fine. So that's what works for me. And let me know what works for you. In other words, a habit is formed when a specific cue and emotion leads to a behavior eating chips. Why is he eating chips? Oh, emotions. There you go. So if you have this like emotional eating, there's something that triggers, like there's something that's upsetting, could even be angry, and could even be happy, that cues you to be like, okay, I need to celebrate, I need to like comfort. You know, food is comfort to some people. It is. So sometimes those emotion cues you have to watch if you're an emotional eater. Like if something stressful happens or something really sad, you tend to go for food because it's a comfort. It is a minimal comfort, though. I think a lot of us who emotionally eat, maybe sometimes after that eating, they have that little bit of guilt. There's a satisfaction for a slight minute, and then the guilt comes in because it's like, why did I do that? But you know, sometimes the cycle, it just happens. It's like, do you ever like just eat and not think? That used to be me all the time. One of my bad habits was after weigh-in, I would come home and I would just eat. Eat. Now, back originally when I started Weight Watchers pretty consistently, it was a Tuesday night. So I would come home on a Tuesday night and then start to eat. And that's late. Because it's, you know, the meeting was at 6 or 6:30, so you're getting home like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I thought, well, I'm just going to eat. And then I moved to Saturdays. The same thing. What was worse on Saturdays, because I got weighed in the morning, meeting was at 8:30, so I got home by 9:30. So I had the whole day, and it's like I kept saying to myself, Denise, don't do this next week. You're kicking yourself in the butt. But it would automatically come, and I wouldn't even think. It was like I was on autopilot to grab whatever I wanted. I'm like, and I finally had to change my weigh-in day back to during the week, so I wouldn't. I learned it was too late to eat, and I was gotten to the point where I couldn't eat that late anymore. So I would just eat like normal and be fine. And then I did eventually break that habit. It was a cycle though, because it was like automatic to just grab food. I'm like, why did I do this? And then I felt bad about it. And then I thought, well, you know, then it turned into breakfast and lunch, and turned to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm like, I got to stop this. And it really was, you know, you come home with all this positivity from your workshop and all, you're lifted up, but yet you still come home and you still eat. You still do that. That was a hard time. I mean, I sit there and I'm like, it was a hard time. And here's the sad part, is I would bring a snack with me to weigh in. So I would eat my bar and come home and eat pancakes. So this time I said to myself, I'm not doing that. So now when I was going to meetings the last, over the summer, since I started going to this center, probably 2 years now, I didn't bring a snack with me. I didn't need one. I mean, I'm going to go right home. It was early enough that I could go home and eat breakfast. Or if I brought a snack, that was my breakfast. So I kind of, if I was going in, I would bring something. But for the most part, I didn't need to bring a snack because I was going to go home and have breakfast, or probably then I used to have brunch. But it took me so long to break that. That is a bad habit. And I know a lot of us do that. I know a lot of us have this weigh-in day where we're just like, we're just going to, eat what we want. It's our free day. It's our high point day. Well, high point is nothing wrong with high point, but I was having ridiculously high. I mean, I didn't even track it. I didn't know what I was eating, and I just didn't care. So I finally started to care, and I finally started, if I'm going to eat this, I'm going to track it. So at least I know where I'm at, and it's taking my weeklies away. So I don't have those extra points, because if you're eating and not tracking it, you're not doing yourself a service by leaving those points that you used on the board. So I'm just glad that habit is gone. It was a tough one. It really was, because I did it without thinking. And that's what a habit is, to do it without thinking. And that's what I did. I caused myself a negative habit. So there is good habits and there's bad habits. Habit formation, a cue is something we see, experience in our environment or thought or feeling. So the cue triggered, like the weigh-in day triggered my behavior to eat. And it was a negative impact because I didn't want to do it, yet I kept doing it. I don't even know what to tell. I didn't know how to explain that, but it's true. But somebody had a quote which I kind of liked. It says, it's about choosing a different habit and honoring yourself enough to keep them. It's a new year. It's about choosing different habits and honoring yourself enough to keep them. I like that. It's a quote of the year that she has. And I like that. Kimberly. That was a great quote. I wanted to share that. Honor yourself enough to do the good things. Like, what habits have you gotten from your health journey? They always ask. And the biggest one, probably, even above tracking, is probably water. I was never even back in the day, I will tell you. Right when I started Weight Watchers in 2013, my original time when I did Points Plus, I was drinking instant iced tea. The kind with the powder that you make the pitcher. I was drinking, I'd venture to guess thousands of calories at least. Half a gallon probably a day of that. That was the first thing that I changed, was going to fresh brewed tea. And I've kept that habit. I've not going back to that. First of all, it tastes much better once you get used to it. Because in the beginning, it is kind of like, because you're just used to that one taste, but you really realize it's much better. So that was my first habit. Definitely was gritting the tea, drinking the water, adding more. I'm not perfect with water, but I am so much better than I was. You have to look at it that way. You can't look at, well, I'm not perfect. I don't hit my water goal every day, but are you still trying to hit that water goal? Which I am. My movement has, and lately has decreased. We've admitted that, but we're trying to, work into that, upping my movement back again. I felt like I was, it's all had to do with my heart rate. It was just, I felt fleeting to be exercising and your heart rate not getting up. It kind of worked on me mentally. I think a lot of it. It's like you're pushing because back in the day when I first started, my heart rate was getting up to 140, 145. My heart rate couldn't get up past 85. And it's like, you're not burning anything if your heart rate isn't up enough. So it's kind of like I was just in this cycle and that really does a number on you. So I'm trying to work back into that. The heart rate's not great, but it's not as bad as it was. But we're working on that. But yeah, habits, I do track. I do sit down. It's funny because I sit down to have breakfast and I grab my phone and I track my food. I don't or if I don't do it then, I definitely do it sometime right after that. So it's definitely important to me to get that. And now I'm getting reminders, which I never got before. Did you track your dinner? You didn't track your dinner. Don't lose your streak, And I like the fact that they're giving you prompts, because sometimes we need reminding. It's like the prompt on your Fitbit to stand, like get up, stand, because I've been sitting too long. I get up and stand, move around. You have everybody has a stand goal, and you think that sounds ridiculous, but it doesn't. It gets you up every hour. Nothing wrong with that. Getting you up, getting you moving. Even if you get up, walk around the kitchen, and come back and sit down, you still have gotten up and moved. So it is something important, and I think we do need cues, and sometimes we need digital cues. Sometimes we need things to pop up on our app and say, you didn't track breakfast. Oh, yeah, I didn't track breakfast. It happens. I forget. I'm not going to sit there and say I always sit there and track, but I try to. But like getting that reminders, which I love, has been refreshing, because I want things like I need to be accountable. I need to know so I can eat. See, I track so I know I can eat. Some people, that's the difference with me. I track to see what I have left for dinner because you don't know if you're really, really hungry, how much do I have left? And yes, you have that 0 point list, but you also have to know that those are calories. And I don't know if I mentioned this. I did mention it in the live, but I will mention it here. In the all-in plan, when you have that all-in screen with those circles, you have the fiber, you have the protein, you have the water. If you scroll down, you have all your macros are down there individually: calories, fiber, protein, whatever ones you have checked off, fats. So that's like, I didn't know that was going to have it in there. I was a little bit, that's another thing that was scaring me. You're going to give me 23 points and I don't know what I'm eating. So there are those goals down there so you can see them, which is very helpful. So that's a positive. So why do I think all in's like a diet? I just feel like it's a little bit more restrictive, and I think it needs to be. And I think having all those 0 point foods gives you not enough restriction. So I think that is, and I use the word diet in a positive way. I feel like diet is always a negative term. It shouldn't be. I mean, sometimes we need to reel it in, which is, what do you call it? A diet. It's you can say call it healthy light. But it's, in a sense, you need to regulate yourself. If you're at a standstill, you haven't lost, you're at a plateau, you need to do something different and something to pull it in. And sometimes it's doing that. So when I really sat down and thought about it, I thought, well, maybe this is, as much as I didn't like it, maybe it's something I need to get out of my comfort zone. And somebody called me out on that. I'm like, all right, I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to do something that I'm uncomfortable with, which is basically how you sometimes form a new habit by just like, the cue is, I know I need to do it. The cue is, I need to do it. And then the satisfaction of seeing results on the scale, you're like, well, geez, see, maybe that's your problem. Complacency should have been my word of the year. Maybe I'm too complacent. I need to go out of my comfort zone. So that is, the topic of the week. And it is like, habits are huge, and that habits are what keep us going. Some people get up, they set their alarm to get up, they exercise before they go to work. It's their new habit. Bravo to you. I think when you make yourself a priority, good things happen. So let me know how your week went. Let me know what you think of All In. And I know a lot of people, before you say it, I know a lot of apps have not updated yet, but they're coming. That's what they say. Because I've seen every day, I see more and more people say, oh, my app updated. So it's coming. It's slow, but I agree. I feel like they're giving all this information and you don't have the tools to use it. I know that's so disheartening. Trust me, I was like I was at that meeting thinking I can't see it in my phone, in my app, to appreciate it. So listening to them and hearing it, and without having literally looked at it on my phone, there is where the problem lied for me, being like, oh, I don't know. And actually, you can actually up your calories and all, and you can go and adjust it in your settings. So if you think you need to see 28 points on there, you could put that in. But also, here's another fun fact. I went over my points yesterday, or was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday. I think it was due to cheese. My cheese has been my nemesis lately. And 80 calorie slice for 3 points. It is what it is. But I had 2 slices. But I had gone over, but it's still like, I think I went up with 26 or 20. I think it was 26 points. But it said it on there. So I had 23, but I tracked so much that it said 26 used. So it adjusted. It didn't like just still say 23. It did give me the more. So I don't feel I need to up the points because it's going to I could track it. I'm going to eat it anyway. So it's going to track it for me. So don't ever feel nervous about that. And remember, you're never stuck there. If you decide to toggle that all in and you don't like it, you just toggle off. But it's nice to have something that's a little bit different, a little bit more tighter, that maybe we need. And I have to call it a diet. I'm going to call it a diet. I feel like we need to just make positives out of the word diet. I mean, sometimes we need one. Sometime, few weeks out of the month, maybe we need to be on a diet, and then maybe we can do the rest of as healthy lifestyle. It is lifestyle, and everything is, even on a diet, this diet, everything is still on the table. It's just moderated. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not getting X amount of points. You get, this is all you get, but you have all these 0 point foods. Remember, 0 point foods have calories. When you track it, look at the serving size. I weighed my turkey every day this week. I had, weekend. I had 4 ounces. I think I prepped a turkey breast on Thursday, or was it Friday? I think it was Friday. And I 3, so I needed to up my protein. So I went to 4 ounces of turkey breast. And I weighed it, and I got, I put it in there, 0 points, but you know what? I accounted for it. So that is it. I keep talking, and I'll talk forever, and I don't want this video to be too long. So let me know how your week went in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and not hit the subscribe button, join us here at Dish with D, where we are talking healthy lifestyle, diets, and Weight Watchers. And, you don't have to be Weight Watchers to belong here. It's just, it's the plan that I am choosing. You choose what you want. You choose what you could afford. I'm not here to judge that. I did a whole video on different apps that I thought were really good last, I think it was the 29th or 30th of December. It's a couple videos ago. You'll see it. I have all the app names on the thumbnail. Check those out. A lot of them were free, and you got a lot of benefits. And even the ones you had to pay for were still way more affordable than Weight Watchers is. But I know a lot of people love the WW, and I've seen the love again. It comes and goes. The hate comes in, and then the love comes back. So it is what it is. So that is it. I will see you, my lovelies, in a vlog very soon. Bye-bye for now.